You know, in the last 40-some years being a radio guy, there was one singer-songwriter that really stood out for me. Well, there's a few, but one of the top female singer-songwriters is Laura Nyro. She had a multi-octave voice. There's a new box set, and if you want to pick it up, there's a link in the description. You want to get a lot of Laura Nyro and really get into her career? Check out this box set. Again, there'll be a link in the description. We have a few people talking about Laura. Most of them knew her. When you think about songs that were covered by Three Dog Night, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, most notably The Fifth Dimension, Barbra Streisand, she was a force, and we lost her in 1997. Friends and colleagues of Laura Nyro talk about her greatness on Rock History Music.
Funny, people say, you know, Charlie Cologne, he wrote the Bomb, Bomb, Bomb and Sweet Caroline, but yet when I did the master class for ASMAT last year, the only thing that the pros wanted to know about, what was it like to work with Laura Nyro? No questions about what was Sinatra, Streisand, Springsteen, any of the many people I worked with. What was it like to work with Laura Nyro?
Laura Nyro was born Laura Nigro on October 18, 1947 in the Bronx, New York. She was raised in a musical household and exposed to a blend of classical, jazz, and R&B, which deeply influenced her unique songwriting style. By the age of 8, she started writing her own songs, and as a teenager was already performing in local clubs.
I used to study with a guru for many years, and I introduced her to him and vice versa. And he told me that she was actually born in the wrong century. She's from 100 years ago. That's where she was at.
I've created my own little world, a world of music since I was 5 years old, Nyro told Billboard magazine in 1970.
The only way I could explain it was her songs were her children, and she performed them like she lived every experience. When you heard her sing Lonely Woman, talking about lonely women, and as a result of that, after that Janice Ian wrote at 17, because Janice went to school with Laura. They went to the same school in the Bronx. And then she wrote at 17. You got Laura to write that, and then you got Janice Ian to write that. You got a sense of people from that generation, of how they felt isolated. And when I heard her sing that song, you could actually feel what life was like for her.
Jane and I always referred to her as Mama Earth. Because she is, she was. She was just this wonderful person.
She said she had a difficult childhood, and music really helped, adding, "I was never a bright and happy child." It's important to note that Laura Nyro was one of the most influential and important songwriters of the late 60s and early 70s.
Laura Nyro was one of my writers. So Clive said to me, listen, Laura's contract is coming up, and I'm setting up a meeting for you to meet with her, and no matter what she wants, give it to her. Even though she never became a major recording artist, only because by the time she put out an album, all the major recording artists would pick at the album and have hits with them. All her songs.
A white soul singer. And as Bill Flanagan of VH1 once said, everyone had hits with Laura Nyro songs, except Laura Nyro.
I'm not really sure how she felt about having most of her tunes covered by other acts, and they were the ones who had the success on it. But, when Laura did a song, she could make you cry, she could make you laugh. She was just a most wonderful woman.
She went to Monterey, California, the pop festival, and because of an audio problem, she felt that she was not received well. And it affected her because she was such an introvert, and she could not handle the rejection, which she felt.
Through the years, her influence has been very strong. Elton John is a huge fan. So was Carole King. In fact, Laura's only charting song only peaked at number 92. It was a cover of Jerry Goffin and Carole King's Up on the Roof that was made popular by the Drifters in 1962.
Laura Nyro, my particular muse, wrote, "Can you Surrey? Can you picnic? Come on down to a Stone Soul picnic." I said, "I can't wait to be there."
We had some great memories together. She was a great woman, great talent.
Joni Mitchell was a big fan. Kate Bush, Suzanne Vega, Jackson Browne, who had a brief romantic relationship with Nyro, Cyndi Lauper, Todd Rundgren, who produced her, Melissa Manchester was also a fan, as well as Bette Midler and many others.
When I got into her music, I literally just absorbed it all. I sat with every album. Yeah, I really identified with her and her stories and the loneliness.
Her 3-octave mezzo-soprano voice was also another of her superpowers. And she was posthumously inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2010 and into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2012.
She was a great character. She was a very loving character. Eccentric, yes. She believed in the music that she wrote, and happily it didn't take too long before she was discovered.
Let's look at her albums and the people who recorded her songs. Nero's debut album, More Than a New Discovery, was released in 1967. February to be exact, just a few months before The Summer of Love. It included a few very famous songs, and When I Die, later covered by Blood, Sweat and Tears. The song reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1969. The record also featured Wedding Bell Blues and Blowing Away, which the Fifth Dimension turned into hits.
I heard the songs. I thought she was brilliant. Then I heard Wedding Bell Blues on the radio, and I knew the song.
Also on Eli and the 13th Confession, Stony End, a number 6 hit for Barbra Streisand. One of her big albums was Eli and the 13th Confession from 1968. It was a critically acclaimed album filled with deeply personal and inventive songs, tracks like Stoned Soul Picnic and Sweet Blindness, 2 more hits for the Fifth Dimension. Then there was Eli's Coming, a number 10 hit for Three Dog Night. The album was arranged by the hitman, Charlie Colello. He also co-produced it with Nero.
The night I met her, went to Laura's apartment. The apartment wasn't bigger than 15 by 15. It was a studio apartment. There were candles lit all over the room, lights were dim. She played me the record, and I couldn't speak. I had tears in my eyes. It was like I witnessed like a miraculous. It was a miraculous experience.
In 1969, she released New York Tendaberry. Some consider it her masterpiece. The album's raw, emotional depth captivated critics. Her song Time and Love was later covered by Barbra Streisand. And again, the Fifth Dimension recorded a tune from this album, Save the Country. New York Tendaberry became her most commercially successful record, peaking at number 32 on the Billboard 200.
Our friendship sort of took the back burner after we left high school. And I just sort of followed her career, and we'd be on the same bill together sometimes and say hello, but that was about it. And then when we did her album, it all came back. It felt like it was back in high school.
Nero's 1970 album Christmas and the Beads of Sweat was produced by Felix Cavallari of the Rascals and super producer Arif Martin.
I swear to God, I don't think she cared if she sold a record. Man, she heard things a certain way. And regardless of radio station, pressure, et cetera, I want it like this. And I've never met anybody like that. It was really very interesting. It's all about art.
The album also featured Duane Allman, as well as the Muscle Shoals rhythm section. The record reached number 51 on the Billboard charts. And as mentioned, the album is responsible for Nero's Soul Chart single, a cover of Jerry Goffin and Carole King's Up on the Roof. Gonna Take a Miracle was her 5th album, released in 1971, featuring Nona Hendryx, Patti LaBelle, and Sarah Dash, better known as LaBelle, a vocal group that became very famous for their hit single, Lady Marmalade. The record was also Nero's only all-covers album, where she interpreted 1950s and 60s soul and R&B standards. And then Nero took a 4-year break. During that time, she got married and divorced. She came back in '76 with an album simply titled Smile, dedicated to her mother. Other records followed, like Seasons of Light from the summer of '77 and Nested the following year. Then there was Mother is Spiritual, Walk the Dog, and Light the Light.
Well, it was interesting. Gary Katz was producing. One thing about Gary, he has this incredible knack, this incredible talent for surrounding himself with all of the right people. And he did. It was great. I mean, as I recall, Jerry Jamot was playing bass. I think Paul Griffin was playing keyboards as well. It was just an incredible experience. She was really, she had so much fun participating in and listening to how we responded musically to what she was doing.
A real true artist. She was motivated by passion.
She's eccentric. Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, I went to her apartment a couple times in New York City, and it was all black. I mean, everything was painted black and dark, and she always wore black clothes. Yeah, she was kind of out there, but maybe that's what made her the creative genius.
In 2001, her last album, Angel in the Dark, which was released posthumously in 2001. She recorded the album when she was sick. Laura Nyro passed away on April 8, 1997, at the age of 49 from ovarian cancer, the same disease that took away her mother. Her legacy lives on through her innovative music and countless artists who recorded her songs, ensuring her place as one of the most influential and underappreciated songwriters of her generation. Remember, if you want to buy the box set, there's a link in the description for the Laura Nyro catalog, basically. It's an amazing box set. Again, links in the description. If you want to help the channel, YouTube has been a roller coaster ride in the last few months for a lot of us creators. If you want to donate to the channel, there's a PayPal link at the very top of the description. Also, you can buy swag from our channel, t-shirts, caps, and coats. Links in the description. And of course, you can join our Patreon. You'll get early access to our videos. But subscribe to our channel. Click the bell notification. You won't miss anything, hopefully. Comment on our videos. Share them on social media. And of course, like them. I'm John Bowden. This is Rock History Music. Take care of yourself.